Hey everyone, and happy holidays! So in my house, we don't have a fireplace anymore. Or I guess this place never had a fireplace, but in our last house we had a fireplace. So, we could put our stockings up and whatnot. I mean, they were bricked up, so you couldn't actually have a fire in it, but you could put candles and stuff and kind of make it look fireplacey. But anyway, I am sitting at my computer desk a lot, editing and working on artwork and stuff. So I thought it would be kind of cute to make a tiny mini little desktop fireplace. If you were like me, you've probably been getting a couple deliveries to your house of Christmas presents or whatever, and now you have a bunch of cardboard laying around. So before breaking it down and recycling it, I took some of that cardboard and I'm going to use that to make this little fireplace. My goal is that I want it to be a tiny little fireplace slash acoustic enhancer kind of thing. You could buy like either wooden blocks or like people make them out of cardboard where you put your phone in and the volume is enhanced because of the way that it's built. So I want to try to make this little fireplace do that as well, so that it's not just like a visual thing, like it'll be an acoustic thing as well. And I guess if you haven't gathered, I am going to be using my phone to do the like fire element of this thing. So yeah, of course I'm going to be doing it to the dimensions of my phone, but you could easily change it up to do the dimensions of your own phone, or even like an iPad or any other kind of tablet or whatever. I've been pretty excited about this one. Been wanting to do it for a while, so finally it's winter. Well, winter for me. I live in the south, so really it's not that cold. But it is a time for like coziness and faux fireplaces, so I'm pretty excited. So let's get started. The first thing I did was to draw out a template for the window or opening of the fireplace. On one side, I needed there to be a little bit of extra space for where I'll be sliding the phone into. I traced around my phone and cut this rectangle out. Then I used this to cut 2 pieces of cardboard to size. I measured the side of my phone and cut 2 rectangles that were a tiny bit bigger than that by the length of the phone. I also cut one more side piece that was as long as the short side of the phone. I held the short piece up to the side of my phone with the speaker holes, and I marked out the speaker area. I marked a small rectangle where the speaker is, and I cut that out. I was hoping to make this work as a piece that kind of amplified the sound as well as showing off the video. I put my phone back onto the template piece that I made earlier and marked where the window should go. When I was happy with the size, I cut this out, then I marked it onto one of the cardboard pieces and cut that out. Using tape, I put these pieces together, then I went back with wood glue to secure everything. For a lot of my cardboard projects, like the cat houses that I made last year, I prefer using wood glue. It dries fast and it holds well. Also, we always have a bunch of wood glue in our house, so it's just easily accessible for me. You could probably totally just use normal school glue or hot glue if you wanted. Now I worked on the main part of the fireplace. I wanted the window to be centered into the middle of the fireplace, so I measured the distance from the window to the edge of the long side of this phone holder piece, and then I marked that same distance from the other side of the window down onto another piece of cardboard that will make up the body of the fireplace. I cut the excess cardboard away from the body piece, which I had already cut down to be as tall as I wanted, and then I cut another piece to this size as well. On the second piece, I cut it down to the height that I wanted for the actual brick part of the fireplace. And then I set the other half aside because I will be using that later to kind of reinforce the top. Then on this piece, the one that I'm going to put the bricks on the back I used the paper template for the phone and traced that on. The outer lines will help me line it up to glue it, and then I expanded the window part to be about 1/4 of an inch bigger on each edge, and then I cut that window piece out. When I was happy with what I had, I glued it in place, using tape to hold everything together while the glue dried. And now for the speaker bit. I cut some thicker paper. Technically, actually, they're my business cards. I had some sitting right in front of me, and I needed something that wasn't as thick as cardboard, but wasn't as thin as paper, so I just grabbed these and used them. Anyway, I cut them into trapezoid shapes, going from the speaker hole on the side to the edge of the cardboard piece, making sort of a funnel from the speaker hole out to the edge of the body piece of the fireplace. Like the other pieces, I used tape and glue to hold everything together. And then once that was in place, I added the big back piece of the fireplace. I wanted to make this a little bit deeper, so I padded it out with 2 pieces of cardboard first, like so. I just glued them to the back of the phone holder bit, and then I glued the full back piece on. I glued and taped a piece of cardboard to the base. This piece is a bit bigger than the width and the depth of the fireplace body. You just want a nice sturdy base for the bottom of the fireplace. And then I attached pieces on either side of the brick part of the fireplace, making sure to cut and leave holes for the speaker funnel part and the part where the phone will slide in. Now I cut some thin pieces of cardboard, the length and depth of the bottom base piece, and I glued and taped those on. Then I cut some long, deep pieces and some thinner pieces to make a rectangle to make up the mantle. This was wider and deeper than the body brick part of the fireplace, but not as big and deep as the base of the fireplace. I taped and glued the mantle together and then glued it into place. I took the other half of the body cardboard that I cut back in the beginning. I cut it to size for the top, and then I glued that down to reinforce this wall part that's above the mantle. For a bit more detail, I cut some strips of cardboard and glued them around the body part of the fireplace right under the mantle. And I doubled up this part. Basically, I did 2 layers of the cardboard because I want it to stick out more than the brick layer will after I glue the bricks on. So now, I cut a shit ton of brick pieces. I just kind of guesstimated how many I needed and ended up cutting more than I needed, which is totally fine. I'd rather cut too many than to cut too little, you know? I spread glue down in sections and laid the brick down in a staggered pattern, like so. Once done with that, I couldn't help but give myself a little sneak peek of what this will look like, and I started getting pretty excited at this point. Off camera, I added a thin strip of cardboard around the edge of the wall piece above the mantle to give it sort of a molding detail kind of look, and now on to paint. I did an all-over layer of gray initially, and I made sure to get the paint down in between all of the bricks. I also painted the inside of the fireplace window part, the sound funnel, and the back of the whole thing black. Once dry, I painted the brick. I decided to go with an off-white brick color, using a foam brush to dab the paint on. You want to do almost a dry brush technique here, so that the gray in between the bricks shows through. I also painted the molding detail with this off-white paint. I painted the base and the under mantle detail with the darker gray, and then I started painting the mantle. I wanted it to look like wood, so I did a base layer of brown, followed by attempting to do wood grain with the off-white paint. And this is what I ended up with, which actually I ended up being pretty happy with. I finished the paint off by painting the wall area, which I painted with a moody, dark, tealy blue color. I pulled up a Yule log video, slid it into place, and I added some stockings and a wreath for decor, using sewing pins to hold them in place. And the desktop fireplace was done. I am so happy with how this turned out. I think it turned out super cute. I'm not sure exactly how successful the sound enhancing bit ended up being, but I do kind of think that it does make it sound a little bit better, I guess. Or maybe I could just be thinking that in an attempt to make myself feel better about doing all that work to try to enhance the acoustics. But anyway, there is one thing that I would change if I ever made another one of these. I would probably add a hole or port or whatever to make it easy to have the phone plugged in while it was inside of this fireplace. Obviously, when you have the video on, it's draining your battery, so it'd be kind of cool if you were able to just have it going all day and actually keep your phone charged, you know? Oh well, maybe next time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that good stuff. I am so happy with how it turned out. I think it's super cute, and it'll bring a little bit of coziness while I'm working on editing this video and future videos. If you want to be featured in a future video, then use the hashtag CheslinDIY on Instagram or Twitter so that you could show me what you made. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, the links to those will be down below. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you like my videos and have learned something from them, please consider supporting me on Patreon to help me continue to make them. It's totally optional. I'll still be making videos either way. It just helps me be able to put out better stuff. A link will be down below, or you can just click up here in the corner.